Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Let's talk. Today we are going to dive into help at what cost when involving active addiction, actually talking to addicts, and the exposure between the content creator and the addict, and the different things that can happen in that exchange on both ends that have to be looked at and evaluated. Potentially, it all can be harmful for either the content creator as well as the addict. Exploitation is a way to make money. People talk, people don't understand that walk of life of addiction. Most people are at that point where they don't want to use, but they don't know how to stop. It becomes a way of life. In most cases, addicts, they therapeutically help each other when they're out on the street. It sounds weird, but it's true. And they actually endorse different things of pain. And there is a subculture that takes place that people that go to work day to day or are not around, that happens. And so one of those things that happens in the subculture of addiction is desperation. You'll find on a lot of my videos I speak about desperation. And desperation brings on a part of a person that anything goes. I've seen people get sprayed with mace. I've seen individuals do lascivious acts beyond your belief, just to get closer to the drug of their choice, especially when monetary is gone. So here's where the content creator or individual who may pull up who wants to do a video or talk or ask a question, this is where they benefit from. Because desperation allows a person to become normal again, in a sense. I've seen people in complete drug psychosis snap out of it the minute that $1 is mentioned to get what they need. So you'll see that the addiction has actually taken over this individual to the point where getting one more will allow me to be the best actor or the best liar or manipulator possible. Me having a 13-year experience can tell you that manipulation I was very good at manipulation. If I could manipulate you, it would work. That carried over into the treatment process when I went to treatment centers. If the counselor wanted to know something about me, I would give him a clinician answer. Most counselors in treatment centers know when an addict is giving them a surface-based answer that's not from the gut, or you haven't evaluated yourself enough to be honest. In the event of recovering, honesty is one of the first things that you are introduced to through admitting that you have a problem. But going back into the active addiction, when you have people with social media platforms that have a few dollars to get a camera out there, you'll find that addicts in some cases are very smart people. They're very entertaining. If they wasn't using, these individuals would be great asset to society. And so you see the unfortunate effects of the obsessive and compulsive disorder that comes along with this particular disease. Addiction is a disease, people. We must not forget that. So anyone who says it's a choice, yeah, I believe it's a choice. After you've been clean for some time and you have information you have to abstain from using, yes, it's deliberately a choice because you're no longer involved in the compulsion and the obsession every single day. But the ones that's out there every day, that's just part of their life now. It becomes a part of their life. They interact with that subculture. And so going back to these social media platforms, I feel personally that they benefit both parties. I mean, because there's been times where I've been in my addiction, I've waited hours in order for something to come through where I didn't have to go steal or I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to do in order for the shit to fall in my hand. And it's not really a positive hope, but it is a hope when you do see somebody pull up willing to ask you a question and they give you 20, 30 bucks. And I even see some content creators feeding the homeless and the sick and suffering out there and actually talking to them. And what you have to understand is that, you know, we're in a capitalistic society. So even people in desperation and in suffering, there's opportunity to make money. And so as a person that was in active addiction, there comes a point where you'll feel embarrassed, you'll feel bad, you'll want to change. And then those are the opportunities that you need to take advantage of to get the hell out of there and make it happen. Don't look back. Because if you look back, you'll be stuck. You'll be caught in the grips. Some people look at these individuals as enablers. If they have a direct source or direct line, they'll play the game. It's whatever game you want them to play. You know, like I said, desperation it will allow a person to be sold at a very, very cheap cost, and pay some very high consequences. So this is my video on this take at what cost, involving content creators doing the exposure of addiction, what happens on the dark side of addiction, the place, going to places people don't want to see, and creating the visuals. We all have to stand together and support these addicts in cases that they want to get clean. There's really nothing you can do when someone's in active addiction. They're going to play the game as long as you're paying them, point blank. So they're not ready to get it. They know you're going to give them money for asking questions. You know, it's sort of a secret society, but it's not. So there's intel that you may not even know about that is scratching the surface. A lot of these things you see on these content creator channels with these addicts, they're giving you surface stuff. It gets darker and deeper, trust me. And that's why I have my channel here to go into the actual details in some cases and talk about these areas where a lot of people refuse to talk about, or they just choose not to talk about once they get clean. So on that note, thank you for watching the channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. This is Grateful Lamar. I am going to be making more content on the way, guys. Thank you for viewing the channel. We do recover. This is a truly grateful moment right now that I'm having, because I'm allowed to share my truth with you guys and build with you. So On that note, I hope you never want as long as you live and live as long as you want. In the words of the great simple to P. Peace.